A warm welcome to the show. Today we're going to talk about classical music with a unique talent, pianist Julia Łozowska. Recognized early on by the Music Masterclass scholarship jury, she represents a new generation of artists who are reshaping how we experience classical music. Hello and welcome, delighted to have you with us.
Hello, I'm so grateful that I can be here today.
So Julia, you're an artist on a mission. You're trying to change how people think about classical music.
Yes, exactly.
Why so and how is it going?
Well, first of all, I believe that we have this stereotype in our heads about what classical music is, and it's not that, basically. I was doing my bachelor thesis on the trends in classical music, and I read that it's not true that only older generations are listening to it. Actually, people my age are also coming back to it through streaming services and such. And I believe we can really use it to transform ourselves and to feel the emotions that aren't so easily expressed in the daily life.
And what is your story? When did you start to listen to classical music yourself? What inspired you to become a pianist?
Well, it's actually very very close to home because my sisters were playing instruments and I was sort of brought up with music around me. I was listening to a lot of CDs and they were also practicing to their exams at school while I was being 1 or 2 years old. And then basically my parents decided, okay, let's give her a chance to also learn how to play. And I sort of, as the only child from this group, stayed with it forever, hopefully.
And who is your favorite composer?
Who? I think Rachmaninoff, even though
I thought you were going to say Chopin, but...
Well, Chopin is very close to my heart, and I've been brought up sort of next to his music, and I'm playing it all the time because of the Chopin competition, and also because in Poland we just play his compositions a lot. However, closer to my character is definitely Rachmaninoff. Also Schumann, Brahms, the Romantics, the late Romantics.
Because you did take part in Chopin piano competition.
I did, yes.
So what are your memories around that event, so to speak?
Well, it's a huge event. I would say the most important one, not only in Poland, but in the international music world. I was very young, so it was definitely an achievement for me, regardless the results, but I would say also such a great experience to just be on that stage, on that event. It's great memories.
And now, you're going to have your own album. Your album is about to premiere. Can you tell us a little bit more?
Yes, definitely. I would love to. I actually brought it with me. It's called Heritage, and there's sort of playful wording with hair as sort of me, my interpretation, how it's important to know about the interpreter and our character, how it influences the music that we're playing. It's not just the composer's language, and also heritage as sort of, you know, the actual meaning of the word, but also what it means to me, my values, my experiences basically for the last couple of years, sort of proving myself that I can do it, you know, regardless the obstacles.
So let's take a quick listen to some of your music. So do you have your favorite piece on the album?
Yes, I would say that Schumann's piece, it's actually very long. It's definitely my favorite. I poured all my heart in it, and it has 8 parts. But I think it's such an amazing piece. It's sort of inspired by this book by E.T.A. Hoffmann. And it's very interesting because you can hear sort of the inspiration of two narratives simultaneously happening in the book. And one of them is narrated by a cat, like a literal cat. So as you will be able to see, my CD doesn't only have the actual recording, but I also wanted the aesthetics of it to match me and my character. And there is also a lot of illustrations, and one of them is the cat. So that's the connection.
Okay. Sure.
Yes, I can show
By all
it.
means, go ahead.
This is actually drawn by my best friend, Zuzanna Winiarska, who managed to literally make the illustrations, from my life, and they really showcase my character and everything. And I also wanted to sort of, how Chopin, he was a dandy, so he really cared about how he looked like to the outside world. And we often forget about it. We often think that composers were just like focused on their music, nothing else. They were just actually living their lives. And if we want to know, there are actually some crazy stories about them. They were not boring people. So I wanted to also show the fashion side. And you can see that on the booklet cover, actually it's also the single cover, there is a collar, as also you can see. But on the cover, there's a collar by Chylak, the Polish designer. And I wanted in this way to sort of showcase the Polish heritage that I'm having.
That is a lovely idea. But also I wanted to ask you about, to what extent can classical music be a subject to interpretation? Where is this balance of, sort of your own personal touch and staying faithful to the piece?
That's actually a very good question. So there is the actual score that we're having, and in a very traditional way, we just learn what's in the score. But like in a language, you can read something, but you can influence how you pronounce things, what you accentuate, and the same with us. But there's also arrangements, there is improvisation, and this is much less strict way of playing classically. I'm more in the first way, I would say, and now I'm just focusing on interpreting and just playing the biggest works that are in the repertoire of classical piano.
And also the instrument does matter, right? Not only the manufacturer, but what kind of piano it is. Can you tell us more about your preferences for the sound?
Definitely. So first of all, I'm playing on the modern piano. Now there is also a very popular trend to go to the, I don't want to say basics, but to go back in time and play on period instruments. This is a little bit different, and it allows us to hear how the composers heard it back in the day. But I play on the modern piano, and I recorded my CD on a Kawai piano, because the one that I was happily using during the recordings allowed me to really express myself and also create a sound that was really meaningful to me.
And from the modern day musicians, who are your inspirations?
Well, I have to say, I have two groups. First one is sort of legends. It's not from the living ones, but I would say Horowitz or Richter. But from the living ones, definitely Marta Argerich. There is also actually a small detail about her in the booklet, because she also recorded the Schumann piece, and it's very well known. But also, I would say the female pianists, because they sort of show me the way how I can just stay myself on stage, and how important it is to stay faithful to yourself and to explore how fun classical music can be. Yeah, that's how it is.
So is the world of piano also dominated by men?
I would say it's changing, but definitely the statistics from the competitions aren't in our favor. However, I would say from the actual stage, there is so many interesting and captivating female classical pianists. And I think it's going in the right direction.
And have you, I presume you've seen the last Chopin piano competition. What do you think about the verdict? Because it was highly controversial, so I wanted to know your take on it.
Well, I mean, competitions are competitions, as we say in our small world. I was definitely cheering for my friends who were also in the finals. They were from my piano class in Hanover, and also for the Polish contestants. So I would definitely say that, you know, I was happy for their awards, but in today's world, just the award doesn't mean you will have a career for 20 years. You actually have to defend it, so to say.
Mm-hmm. So is it hard to sort of make it in the world of classical music, and what steps does one need to take?
Definitely. I would say it's even harder than before because there's so many great people, talents from all over the world. There is still this sort of technical level that you have to achieve in order to even exist in the stage world. But I think this world in general is very fast-paced, and it also transpons to the classical music world. So you have to be on tour a lot, play a lot of repertoire, change it fast. It's not easy, and usually we perform by heart, so it doesn't make it easier, but it's also changing.
Because you started your career pretty early on, right? You were selected for Music Masterclass program out of 400 other applicants. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How was that experience for you? Was it helpful?
I have to say I'm pretty lucky with such programs because this particular one, Music Masterclass, taught me a lot of actually how to survive on that stage. We had masterclasses with big names such as Kuba Badach or Adam Sztaba or Hania Rani, and it showed me how they live and how I can also live. And now the CD I'm actually making thanks to another program, but the difference is only 2 people a year are selected, and I was lucky to be one of them, and it's a program called Velo Talent. And it's allowed me to make this CD. Basically, without it, probably it wouldn't be here. So I would say such programs are very much needed because they help us young talents sort of have the support behind us that really helps us achieve things that I can show. You know, not just some statements, but yeah, I would say it was huge help.
And looking back at your musical career so far, what has been the most challenging?
I think maintaining the best of your abilities on stage when you're going through your own emotions in your own life. So you have to always be on top of the experience. You always have to perform 100%. I think this is quite difficult. It's I think sometimes people don't realize how difficult it is to actually perform on that level. We can see that in, for example, Chopin competition, people are just performing in such a way that's almost indescribable, but there's a saying that when someone does their job really well, it looks easy to others. So this is, I think, the difficult part.
I can imagine that it must be super stressful to perform in front of such a large crowd. But regarding your dreams and plans for the future, can you share some with us?
Yes, I would definitely want to expand my career to other countries and to perform more in big halls and with orchestras. I think this is a dream of every pianist and sort of next step that comes naturally. And I really hope this CD will help me with that. I think it's actually a huge statement from me, and I hope that it will help with that.
So fingers crossed it will all work out for the best. Julia Łozowska, thank you so very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me today.
And thank you for watching Pulse of Culture. Please stay tuned for more here on TVP World.